In this video, I want to talk to you about some of the things about sleep that are normal and some of the things that are not. So the first thing is that it is normal to wake up during the night, but that you should then be going back to sleep again quite easily. So it's normal to wake up 2 or 3 times during the night. You might look at the clock, you might turn over or reposition yourself, you might even pop to the loo. But then you would want to settle down again quite quickly and drift back off to sleep. That is perfectly normal and nothing to worry about. However, if you're waking up during the night and you're finding it difficult to get back to sleep, if you're lying awake for a period of time, sometimes even hours, then that is an indicator of insomnia. That isn't normal. So it might be that you lie awake and it's stress that's keeping you awake, your mind might be busy, there might be a lot going on. Or it might be that you feel quite relaxed, but you always wake up at this time and you always are awake during the hours of, say, 2 to 4. And that can be an indicator of more of a habit of the mind, and that again is a good sign of insomnia. For some people, they wake up and it's just nonsense that's going around their head. So it might be a song that's stuck in your head or something like that. And again, that's a really good sign of insomnia. So it's really normal to wake up during the night, but it's not normal to be awake for long periods of the night. If that's happening, it's likely that you're experiencing insomnia. So the second thing is that it's normal to remember your dreams, but not to be troubled by them. So sometimes people worry that if they can remember their dreams, they haven't slept deeply enough. But that really isn't the case. It's perfectly normal to remember your dreams, and actually dreams are the only part of sleep that we do remember. So dreams are a good indicator that you've slept well. So it's perfectly normal to remember your dreams, nothing to worry about. But you shouldn't be troubled by your dreams. Now that happens every now and then to most of us, but if that's happening on a fairly regular basis, then that's a little bit more of a cause for concern. So if you feel stressed or anxious in response to your dreams, if you feel like you're having nightmares, if you feel like you are dreaming through situations in significant detail, like for example meetings, then all of that is a good indicator that there is a significant amount of subconscious stress in your body and your mind, and that's coming out when you're asleep. It also often interferes with the quality of sleep, so you might not feel as well rested. For some people, they dread going to bed because of the content of their dreams. It's become an anxiety about even going to sleep. Now, just because that's happening doesn't mean that you're stuck with that. There's lots that you can do about it. I don't want you to feel like it will be that way forever. But just for now, it's important to know that it's normal to remember your dreams, but it's not normal to be troubled by them on a regular basis. The third thing is that it's normal to feel like you're sleeping more lightly towards the end of the night, but not to feel like you're sleeping lightly all night. So the way that sleep cycles work mean that we have our lightest sleep towards morning, so towards the end of our sleep. And that's perfectly normal and nothing to worry about. So you might wake up feeling like you've just been dreaming. You might have been thinking over things that are going to be happening in the day. It feels as though your sleep was just kind of dozy or very light. And that's very normal. It's not a sign of anything to worry about. But if you feel like that happens all night, if you feel like you're just in sleep slightly for the whole of the night, then that can be a little bit more of a cause for concern. So that can be an indicator that your mind isn't fully switching off and you might not be achieving the deep sleep that you need for proper rest and repair. Again, there's lots that can be done about this. You're not just stuck with it, but it's important to recognise if that's what's happening, then there could be a bit of an underlying issue there. It's most often stress, but it can be related to other insomnia issues too. It's very normal for it to just happen once or twice every now and then, so particular examples would be if you have a speech or a presentation the following day, you might feel like you only have light sleep. It happens to me if I know I've got to get up early to go to the airport for a holiday. I only feel like I have very light sleep because I'm not fully switching off. It's okay to happen here and there, but it shouldn't be a regular occurrence for you. Number 4 is that it's normal to have periods of time where it feels harder to get to sleep, but it should be short term and then it should go back to normal. So everyone has periods of time where it feels harder to get to sleep, either initially when you first go to bed or when you've woken up during the night. It happens, it can be a sign of stress very often or something else that's going on for you, but it should only be a few nights here and there. It's more of a problem if this happens on a regular basis and you don't really feel like there's a reason for it in the here and now. So often people can trace it back to a stressful event, but that event has passed, it's not happening anymore. And usually when this is happening, it's because the mind has got into a habit and it's kind of forgotten how to get back to sleep, or it's forgotten that it's okay to do that. So that's a really good indicator of insomnia. And so if you are struggling to get to sleep on a regular basis, that isn't normal and it's a good sign of insomnia. And number 5 is that it's normal to need to wind down before bed, but it's not normal to rely on substances to do that. So it's very normal for all of us to need to settle down in the evening before we go to bed, and I actively encourage that. We all need a bit of wind down before we go to bed and go to sleep. That's great if you can just do things that feel good to you. So things like having a bath or reading a book or watching a bit of, not too stressful TV. But if you're relying on any kind of substance to do that for you, then that isn't normal. And the common substances for that are things like sleeping tablets, sleeping medication, alcohol, or sometimes cannabis. And whilst all those things can feel like they chill you out and wind you down for sleep, none of them are helping your body to do it naturally. And all of them can interfere with the natural rhythms of your sleep. And so your sleep can actually be much less good quality, and so you can feel much less rested the next day. So you shouldn't feel that you need anything external to you to get you to sleep. You should be able to wind yourself down naturally. So it's normal to need winding down, but it's not normal to have to rely on something else. So if any of these 5 points have made you think that perhaps you have an insomnia problem, then I would encourage you to use my self-assessment tool. The link is below, and I want you to use that to find out what it is that's interfering in your sleep. Once you know what's interfering in your sleep, then you can start to take steps to change it.